And Bernice Abubedu, many thanks for your company. The Metropolitan Archbishop of Accra, Most Reverend Charles Gabriel Palmer Buckle, is entreating all Christians to use the occasion of Christmas to be generous, especially to the vulnerable in society. He believes that this is the only way the celebration can be made meaningful to all. Maxwell Agbagba spoke to him a few hours before Christmas and has come through with this report.
We all dream of the time when we were kids and Christmas focused on Christ, the birth of Christ. It focused on going to church, and then it focused on giving and sharing. I would say that the same focus is there. Unfortunately, Christmas has been overly commercialized. The giving aspect has been overtaken now more by receiving, by eating, by drinking, by having fun. But all that belongs to the joy of Christmas. Because Christmas, in reality, is the story of God's love for us, which is told year in, year out. John chapter 3, I think verse 13 to 16 will tell us that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. So Christmas is the time when we thank God for this gift, when we remember the gift that God made of himself to us by giving us his only begotten Son, you see. But it also has a dimension that I believe we should not lose sight of. Because God has been generous to us, we as human beings should also be generous to our fellow men and women. That's what I look at.
Wow, interesting. Now there are some who would also look at for the significance of Christmas. Just like others say, it's a time of giving. It's a time of remembering, the birth of Jesus Christ. What really should be the significance of Christmas?
The message is very broad. God, out of love for us, took on our human nature in order to show us the way to become one day God, to share in the glory of God. In fact, this year, thanks to the meditation of our Holy Father, Pope Francis, on the poor people, he gave me something to reflect on that is also part of the message of Christmas. And I would like to read a small passage from 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9. This is what St. Paul says. For you know the generous act of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sake he became poor, so that by his poverty you might become rich. Let me paraphrase it. For love of us, Jesus, who is God, took on our human nature and became poor like us for our sake, so that we might become rich. And so if you ask me, what is my message for this year? I would like to pray that each one of us should do something practical. Look around us in our environment where we live and look for somebody who is poor. Not necessarily a member of our family, not necessarily a friend, but just an ordinary poor person. Then on Christmas Day or during the Christmas week, prepare some food, good food, cake, biscuits, chicken, rice, and bring it to this poor person to say that because Jesus, though rich, became poor for our sake, I want to share with you of my poverty this. And it will make a difference in the life of a person like that. That is what made a difference in our lives when we were children. Yeah, exactly. Because we could go from house to house singing, doing some little work, and they gave us biscuits, they gave us cake, they gave us minerals to drink because it was Christmas. So my dear brothers and sisters, let us learn this Christmas to be generous to the person who least expects it from us. Let us become Christ-like. See, the message of Christmas shows us God's love, shows us Christ's humility, and it shows us his selfless service. So I'd like to believe that we Christians are being invited to show love practically, as the Pope says. Let us love not with words, but with deeds. So let us do something to show love by humility, humble service, by selfless service to our fellow men and women.
It's curious. I mean, if you look at the evolution of Christmas, you talked about the part where you used to go out sing and then you were given little gifts and all of that. I think that's one of the most memorable parts that a lot of us still remember. That, during Christmas, your parents would even cook for you, you exchange food and all of that. But it looks like gradually we're losing that. And some people are attributing that and saying that as humans, we're losing our sense of humanity. I don't know what really is causing, the individualistic instead of the collective, nature that, or the communal nature that we used to live in those days.
We have to admit that society is becoming more and more complex and more complicated. But I can tell you that there are many, many generous people around. People who are out there to offer food to orphanages, to offer food to, people who are slum dwellers, people who are ready to go visit hospitals to see the poor and the needy, people who are ready to bring a lot more to, the ordinary people. So most probably, I would say that the emphasis is too much on the negative. But there are a lot of very good people around doing a lot of generous work who do not even wait for Christmas to do it. I know one or the other of my church, for instance, where every day they cook food for at least 40, 45 people who are, homeless, who are walking in the streets, and it is called a soup kitchen. They come for free food and once a week for free medical care, and once in a while they get clothes and the rest. Not Christmas, but we do it even during the year. So I would like to say maybe we will do well to tell the good news of Christmas and not the not too good news of Christmas. Yeah. It's true that there's a lot more individualism. People are becoming more self-centered. Christmas is more selflessness. So I pray that we would become more selfless in our service of our brothers and sisters. And that is the message of Christmas. Selfless service and love.
We are very excited getting the Christmas message from you. But tied to Christmas It's also, I mean, the end of the year, gradual entry into 2018. And I'm sure in the year 2017, a lot of things, caught your attention as the Metropolitan, Archbishop of the Accra, Archdiocese. I want to find out, or maybe I should rather bring them up, the issues up. Which issues caught your attention? Talking about nationally, politically, socially.
One thing I want to say is that Ghana, we are maturing. Even on the political scene. Many people do not see it. We've been to the polls how many times? 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
We have acquitted ourselves very well. Political debate and discourse shows a lot more maturity towards consensus building. We are not yet there, but we are getting there. I think that unfortunately there's a lot of corruption in the system ordinarily, and I think that is something we all have to tackle. Corruption in Ghana is not only political, it is Ghanaian. We have almost come to the point of accepting corruption as a culture. It is not a culture. It is wrong. We must try to eschew corruption, and we must learn transparency and accountability on individual basis and everything. Another thing that I think has caught my attention is the awareness now that through Galamsey we are destroying our heritage, and that we must all do something to stop this Galamsey. And it is very important that we become conscious of the fact that we are only custodians of what God has given us, which we must be ready to hand on to the children who will come after us. So we are not owners. We are only to hold it in trust for those who are coming. So the fight against Galamsey, I think, is already something very positive. Another thing that I would like to see is we have to do something about indiscipline and lawlessness and the so-called land guards, the so-called, various political vigilantism and the rest. It is all part of the indiscipline that is in the country. We have all become conscious of it. We must now work to stamp it out. You see, if I'm driving on the street and somebody is coming in the wrong direction, we should be able to stop and say, gentleman or lady, please, this is not correct. And people who know that it is not correct should also stand up together and let the evildoers, the wrongdoers know what they are doing. We don't like, but we always leave it. As for me, I don't want palaver and everything. That is wrong. The police are doing what they can. The security services are doing what they can. But all of us must get our hands on deck. And I think, apart from that, one thing that I've always enjoyed about Ghana is our love for life. And because of that, we are not easily prone to violence. I want to thank Ghanaians for that. And we pray that something horrible like happened against, Major Mahama will never, ever happen again, because every life is a gift from God, and we must protect that life. So I am by nature optimistic. But when I look at the young people, the youth in Ghana, I think it is high time we invested a lot in the young people. We must discipline them. We must be good role models for them. We must give them positive outlook about Ghana, and we must instill in them patriotism, love for this country, so that they who constitute, are you aware that about 60 to 65% of Ghana's population is below the age of 35?
Very youthful.
So Ghana is a youthful country.
Yeah.
So we must invest in these young people, and it will give us very high dividends.
Well, most people have been building up to Christmas, which is today, and one of the favorite places people visit during such times is drinking sports. Joy News' Amakrampa visited some hangouts here in Accra and reports.
Thank God for the day. I'm really enjoying the Christmas. It's very nice, and I'm so proud being in Ghana with my family, celebrating the Christmas. Today is the 24th of Washington night. Tomorrow is the Christmas, and I really give God the praise and thanks to give me the ability to celebrate the Christmas here in Ghana with my family.
Yeah, I'm coming from Nigeria. My flight arrived some few hours ago. So my family, they invited me here to celebrate the Christmas with them. With the way I'm seeing it, this place is bubbling. I'm enjoying the place. I'm enjoying Christmas in Ghana too. Yeah.
This your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time coming to Ghana.
Oh, wow, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm enjoying every moment I'm having here in Ghana.
I'm Winifred, and I'm here with my family celebrating the 24th. You understand? Tomorrow is 25th. We know how to do it by His grace.
Akoli, and we sell yam chips and grilled chicken here. This is libanzini, and then we have fresh kwakushito sauce, shredded vegetables available here too.
So tomorrow is Christmas itself. So today we are building up. How is patronage? Are people buying?
Well, people are buying. It's okay. It's well. Here ourselves, we are organizing something for ourselves, for our customers. What we do here is, from today we are going to have promotional packages for customers. And so since yesterday it was good, and today we hope to have it better. Tomorrow, like you said, we are building it up. We have free Coke for patronage from 15 cedi and above for all our customers here. But I think that this year is best because last year actually was our first year in business. And so I don't know whether that is a factor, but all I can see is this year.
Well, there's some people having some fun there. The story is not the same everywhere, though. There are some places that were virtually empty, and we spoke to some patrons we saw at such places.
Yeah, my name is James. We thank God we are still alive. I mean, seeing what is going on. But it's rather unfortunate. Things are not going on. A year by now, I can frankly tell you, strongly tell you, we're having a lot. A year by now, I bought a whole cow. Now, even a goat I couldn't buy. So we are all worried. Things are not well. You can even check around. A year by now, when you come here, you can't even get a place to park your car. But you can look at you can check around. There are empty chairs around where no one sits on it. It tells you a lot. I'm not saying it. I mean, the environment alone tells you.
India.
You're from India. How long have you been in Ghana?
25 months.
25 months. How are you feeling at Christmas?
As in a Hindu, we have Diwali. Okay. It's a festival of light, similar to yours.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
You're having fun?
Yeah.
Hello.
So bring my hamper.
Amakrampa there.